Hello, welcome to Live at 5 stroke Everton breaking news, team news at 5 o'clock in 18 minutes. 6 o'clock kickoffs, who are they good for? Absolutely no one, that's what I say. That's what I say.
Well, be good for us if we win.
I mean, there is that.
Because then you've got the rest of it, innit?
Absolute. I don't know. Weird. The weird. Very, very strange. I'll let you jump into the comments.
Yeah, I'll go through. I'll just get that back up. My Mac is messing around, but here we go. Refresh. I know exactly why it's doing that. I'll sort that out. I love the way you got Chelsea team breaking news as a post. with no breaking news at the moment.
No, but there will be.
But
there
will be in a minute.
15 minutes.
Be in a minute. Yeah,
of course.
Okay. There we go. Benjamin Fairclough, number one. No one will be surprised. Looking forward to tonight's game, boys. Come on, you Blues. Jacob says hello. Hello, Jacob. Chenlar's gone 1-0. I think it's us. James Shorten's, come on, you Blues. Scully, come on, you Blues. Lewis Watts wants to know are the Doucouré rumours true? He's not playing tonight. Let's leave it there. Chenlar's got someone's got to end the unbeaten streak. Yeah, let's go. Let's be the team that does it. Lewis has gone really fancy us for 3 points tonight for some reason. Hope you're right, Lewis. Gareth Hughes says, I'm sick of saying it because I've said it the last 4 games and will probably say it for the next 12. Tonight is a massive game in our season. If we win, I'd honestly say we were favourites for top 4. That being said, I'd take a point right now.
That's fair enough.
I wouldn't say we were favourites for top 4 if we won, because a lot can change. But what I would say is, if we did win, we'd be right in the mix for the rest of the season, wouldn't we? And it'd be a huge, thing. But let's see what happens. It'll be a bit, it's a big game. They're a good side. He's trying to break the record of having 5 clean sheets, isn't he? On the run, first 5 games. So, Darryl, he's injured. Darryl, I'm sure Carlo will update that at another time, but he's going to be out for a bit, which is grim, really, because he was probably the one we could least do. The one we could. We didn't want to be injured, basically, because he's so different to any of our other midfielders. But the manager will have to come up with a different way, won't he? He's done it. We were down when Alan went out, weren't we? We were gutted when Luca Dean went out. And somehow they were able to get results. So, let's see what happens. Rob Dugan says, I actually fancy us tonight. We're brilliant on the road and on the break. 2-1 Everton. Be an incredible result if we could win tonight. But like you say, it is, it's, again, for me, this result won't define our season. Because if we win, I won't think, we're sorted. And if we lose, I won't think that's it. Do you know what I mean? It's a case of, if we weren't to win tonight, then obviously it's Saturday is a huge game, because can you with a win against the team that you should be beating in Burnley? I think a point would be really good. But I don't know. It's a tough one to call. They're a really good side with lots of talented players, and we're just kind of building through.
The way I look at it is, watching them and watching Spurs yesterday, we've got to play both of them. And I think the way both teams look like they're getting. I mean, you never say this as fact, but both of them look like capable of beating. They've got the firepower to beat most of the poor sides in the league, and it's the way I look at it is that we've got to be the ones that stop these teams. If we want to finish above them, like if you think about it, right now we've got Champions League, our own Champions League hopes in our own hands.
Yeah,
they're in our own hands because if we beat Chelsea, we go in the top 4, and then it's up to us to stay in the top 4. It doesn't always work like that, but if we lose ground to both of those teams, we're not going to finish in the top 4, are we? So we have to make sure that well, at least we get something from this game, and I think we'd have to beat Spurs at home, just because they look like they've found that little bit of thing which sometimes you can have in the last few games. Just it all comes together. I don't know. I mean, they won yesterday, I know that, and it'd be Fulham, but well, they look like they've just found that thing which sometimes teams do in the last few weeks of the season. So, or the last month or 2 of the season. So, we've got to find that thing, haven't we?
Maybe we have, though. Maybe people are looking at us and going, they've won 3 on the run, haven't let it go.
Yeah, oh, no. You're absolutely right. It would just be nice to have that thing, maybe on like tonight's game, but in games going forward where we play the West Broms of the world, but obviously but it'd be, the Burnleys of the world and people like that, and we're comfortable. Yeah. And that's that's when you start feeling a bit more comfortable about it, where, Chelsea, don't get me wrong, Chelsea not beating anyone comfortably, rarely. They've beat teams by the odd goal. As well, as well as we have. So, it is in our own hands though, and it is up for us to do what we're good at, which, as you just said, is keeping the ball out the back of the net.
We've got Villa, we've got Spurs, we've got Chelsea, we've got Arsenal.
Yeah, tough games, but
it's tough games, but it's also they're all teams around us, so it's up to us. I mean, Spurs play Arsenal this weekend. Yeah. In the North London derby, so Arsenal can't afford to not win it again. But even a draw there, don't forget, regardless of whatever happens tonight, we're still a point ahead of Spurs.
Yeah.
So if we match their results till the end of the season, they're not finishing above us. So and they've still got a couple of tricky games left themselves. So
everyone has,
I look at everyone, and I honestly don't see anybody. I don't think you can predict anybody's results. I thought City had battered United yesterday. I expected Liverpool to hammer Fulham, regardless of their form. Yeah. And yet, both of those teams lost. So I just don't think you can predict.
No, I know. Definitely not.
So, Alfie, he's injured. He is injured. Stephen Williams says Michael Keane 1-0 tonight, believe. Why not? Why not? Good set piece, whipped in, Michael Keane, back of the net. Let's move on to the next one. And see, we'll have to wait to look at it, isn't it?
Oh.
Be interesting to see how they go tonight.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting whether they go with Giroud down the middle, or whether he'll keep with what he's got, which is Werner, and then two sitting off on Mason Mount. Yeah. It was Ziyech, wasn't it, the other day? So it's going down here. Lewis Watt says hope Tom Davies and James are fit tonight with Doucouré out. Yeah, I think Tom Davies will be involved. Don't know about James. I think he's more likely to be back at the weekend against Burnley. Dick L says, how's it going, guys? I think we need not to lose tonight. Chelsea win, it'll give them a real foothold on the top 4. I think we can do it. That's it, isn't it? When you're playing these teams, you've got to just try to ensure you don't lose, basically. The win is brilliant, but don't get beat. And it is a big game like that. If Everton get a draw tonight in this one, then it's sound, isn't it? It's sound because you've gone to a rival. They've not pulled away from you, and you move on. And it's another one out the way, and you're still intact, aren't you?
It's about. I think at this stage of the season as well, though, it's about making people look at you and go, "Oof!" I think they are in contention. Do you know what I mean? And then putting that worry and that doubt into other teams' minds. Whereas if we just get rolled over, then everyone will be like, oh yeah, Everton maybe could get top 7, blah blah blah. But if we go out there tonight and we get something, and it's, you know, it is a tight game, and then people will start saying, yeah, these might be the real article, which is sometimes all you need. Sometimes all you need is that thing of like, oh, actually these are a good side. These might be, you know, a contender, because that doesn't always happen.
No, we're building, aren't we? I don't know. None of us want to hear it, that it's going to take time and all that, but we are building. The key now for Everton is to be in this position in 12 months' time as well, still in the you know what I mean, still going for it again, because that's when people do take you seriously. But for us this season, obviously, it's huge. It's a huge opportunity to achieve what they wanted to, which is European football. But it's a huge opportunity to surprise everybody with the way it is, you know. And sometimes you have to take these opportunities when they come along and just dive in there where no one thought you could. So we'll see. Phil Williams says, a good performance tonight, we should be okay. Been up since 1:30 and the Everton game is the only thing keeping me awake. Says, P.S. thank you for this channel. Thanks, Phil. Appreciate that, mate. Scoey said, how did Doucouré get injured? Was there a specific tackle? I haven't watched the West Brom game back, but I think he went in the middle of the park. You seen him limping after it, limping for a bit, and he probably stayed on a little bit longer than he should have done. And then when he come off, he was limping as well. But I'd have to go back through it really, because I'm only saying that from memory at the moment, mate, as opposed to being able to go, it was this specific tackle at this time that did it. But it's gutting because we haven't got another one like him. That's the real frustrating thing about it. Just waiting for the refresh.
On the Facebook, the YouTube comment says, Mick Flynn says, big match tonight. If we can't win, don't lose. Teddy McKenna says, how do you think the team will cope with the pressure of the possibility of going back into the top 4? Just gotta win, haven't we? I mean, see, I always love it. I always love it when the game's going on and people go, the commentators are like, oh, you know, or someone will mention it about being Everton could go into this position tonight or that position. I just think to myself, like, does that ever cross a player's mind when he's playing? Like, oh, lads, we've got to win this. We could go top 4 tonight. I just think it's about winning the game and the pressure of the game rather than where the game can lead. I honestly don't think footballers think like that, or managers think like that. I don't think they consider where they're going to be or where they're going to where it's going to take them. So I don't think that should be a pressure.
I think beforehand you talk about it and you say, listen, the league's like this, we win tonight, we're in a great position. But I think once you cross the white line and you're in the game. Yeah. No, but it is, once you're in the game, you're in the game, aren't you? And it's about beating the other team. And, you know, you revel in it afterwards if you've gone into them positions. But they know what the importance of it is, but they'll be looking going, these are ahead of us at the moment, aren't they? But there's only a point. We beat them, we go ahead of them. And that's how we'll be approaching it. Yeah. And from Chelsea's perspective, they'll be thinking, if we can win this tonight, we're 4 points ahead of these. And that's a big thing at this stage. So that's generally how they will look at it. I think we look at it differently, don't we? You know, if they beat us tonight, they're 4 points ahead of us. We'll still have a game in hand. But, you know, it is what it is, isn't it? But what can you do?
William Gilligan says, play well and don't lose. Don't ask for much else, really. That's it, isn't it? That's it. Play well. Do you know what I mean? Play well, and if we play well and we do lose, then what more can you ask of them? Do you know what I mean? At times you've just got to hold your hands up if a team's better than you, or they get a bit of luck or whatever, and just go whatever.
Yeah, we're not going to win every game, are we? Regardless, but what you like is you'd like them to put everything in to every game, which I think in general they have been doing, haven't they? So, Edward Brennan says, do you think this is a must-win or draw? And do you think if we lose, our hopes for Europe are very much still on? Yeah, definitely. Because Chelsea won't win every game, will they? So, you know, a win would be great. A draw would be really good. If we get beat, it's about beating Burnley at the weekend. We beat Burnley at the weekend, we're back up and running, aren't we? You know, if we were to lose tonight, I mean, because it's about picking that momentum back up again then, isn't it? Because that's what you've got to do. You've got to react. We were saying 6 points from every 9 gives us a great opportunity. So on the block of the last 9 points, we've got 9. Do you know what I mean? So if we could get 6, 9, we'd still be on course for what we want to achieve, and then 6 out the 9 after. But that's not, you know, anything can happen in these games. Yeah. Anything. Fulham went to Liverpool yesterday. Liverpool was still the favourites. Regardless of what Liverpool's form is, Liverpool was still the favourites yesterday, and Fulham defended really well, took the opportunity when it came along and won the game. Yeah. You know, Fulham come to us the other week and everyone was expecting us to tonk them, you know, and they beat us, things like that. So it's 11v11. Everyone who's playing tonight do their job. And if they job, then we'll have an option. Yeah. We get chances, we got it.
Aye. Team news in 1 minute. 1 minute.
Dick L says, I managed to watch the first half of the Celtic game yesterday. I thought John Joe Kenny was pretty good. I still say Kenny might be a useful player for us. Maybe not first choice, but certainly back up right back. No. But then you'd have to get rid of Coleman then this summer, Dick, because you can't keep the 2 of them and do it again. We need to get people in. I don't think John Joe Kenny will want to stay anyway. No, you should. I think he'll want to actually go and get his career
be a first team started
somewhere. Yeah. Michael Wood says, hello lads, Doucouré's a big miss. Hopefully Davies is fit. It'll allow Alan to do the Doucouré job maybe. I think a diamond with them 2, Gomez and Sigurdsson, then Richie and Dom up front. I'm going 2-1 to the Merseyside Blues. Hope you're right, Michael. Scoey says, can't wait for McManaman on commentary tonight. I'll probably have. What's it on? Is it on BT, is it?
Is it? Yeah, probably.
I'll have the zone on. I'll have probably Beglan, because I can't stand BT either. So, yeah. Do you want me to... Are you doing the YouTube, or do you want me to
No, you just keep doing what you're doing. I'm keeping an eye on the team. Right, here's the team. Okay. Pickford, Holgate, Dean, Godfrey, Keane, Allen, Andre Gomez, Sigurdsson, Iwobi, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin. The bench is João Virginia, Tyrett, Nkunku, Jean, Davis on the bench, Onyango, Bernard, Broadhead, King. That is your team. I will get it on the screen in a second.
At least Tom Davies is back on the in the squad, which is good. Yeah. Well, I mean, what you know, the manager will pick it and with that, don't we? It's good to have Davies. He's not fully. He's made the bench tonight. Could be a 3-5-2. Couldn't it?
There's the team right there on your screens.
Could be a 3-5-2. Who knows? Interesting. Jake Smith says, do you think Sidderby would have been good this season had we kept him? For us?
Maybe, but
he was good, wasn't he, for us? Really, he wasn't brilliant. But he was
tailed off, didn't he? Their team is Mendy, Aspilicueta, Christensen, Zuma, James, Kovacic, Jorginho, Alonso, Havertz, Werner, Hudson-Odoi. So there's no Mason Mount, no Ziyech, no Chilwell. They're on the bench. Giroud's on the bench.
Okay.
Yeah. So. So I'm surprised Iwobi stayed in the team, but I suppose it's the width on the right, I would imagine. But I don't know.
They play 3-5-2 though. Might match them up. They play 3 at the back, don't they? So we might have gone 3 centre backs and then Dean and Iwobi as the wing backs, and then that'll give them Alan, Gomez, and Sigurdsson in the middle, and then Dom and Richarlison up front. Or it could be a 4-8. Who knows? I still would have gone 7-0-3 for this one. Had to play the 3 lads up front, just banged it long and gone, just try and get on the end of that, boys. But he'll have an idea, won't he? He'll have a plan. He'll have a plan and we'll stick to it. Yeah. So let's see what happens. Tom Bruce says, while Chelsea at the top of the day, lads, would you like Abraham or Everton, or is he too similar to Dominic Calvert-Lewin?
I don't. It's an interesting one. That I think he's a good player. I think, yeah. I mean, he's a good player, and I do like him, and it would give real competition. I just wonder why he would come to Everton, but maybe because he's already been at somewhere where he's not guaranteed. And I don't think he'd be guaranteed at us. So no. West Ham.
He's a good player.
He is a very good player.
He's got goals in him. Definitely. Everton TV says he's joined Payton. Guys, thank you very much. Welcome, mate. Hugh Thomas says no Kante.
No, he's on the bench. Does he play that often anyway?
I feel last week. It was brilliant, apparently.
Need a big
make changes as well, aren't they?
Yeah. When have they got Champions League? Next week?
Next week, isn't it?
Yeah.
They got a big game the weekends.
They played. Don't forget, they played Thursday as well, didn't they? So it's not, teams are struggling this time. And listen, their squad is very, very good. It's a very, very good squad. It's not like it's not. You don't look at that team and go, well, thankfully this player's not playing, or thankfully that player's not playing. They've got a very good squad, and the bench is fantastic. So he'll feel like he can rotate for this game. So. It's difficult
if
for us. If
we had players, we would have, wouldn't we?
I mean, look at us. We've got no James. We've got no Doucouré. Tom Davis is on the bench, and you'd like to see him playing. Iwobi starting the game. In the last game, he was poor. We've got no other defenders at the moment, which is it doesn't really bother me. But at the same time, we've got no Coleman, we've got no Mina, so there's two more players out. So. It's a struggle for us at the moment, and we've got Burnley Saturday, then City this following Saturday, and then we've got a couple of weeks break, haven't we? So some players, I know, some players will be on international duty, but that's at least a 2-week window for if players aren't available. South American players won't be going to the qualifiers now, which is good. So that's a good little refresh for the end of the season. It's a pity the City game didn't come after it rather than before it, just to make sure we had a fitter squad. But it is what it is, isn't it? And Carlo will just take it as it comes, because this is football.
And these are the players he's got. There's no point bemoaning it, is there? There's no point going Doucouré and all that, because we haven't got him, and we're not gonna have him for a while, it seems. So therefore, you just got to get on with it, haven't you? Michael says, hello lads, good to see your face before we go into battle. Free pass with the weekend's results, or are we saying it's a must win?
No, I don't think we can say any game is a free pass now, simply because we're trying to get in the top 4. How can it be a free pass? And we said this about the Man United game a few weeks ago. If these are teams we're up with now, if we have that idea that these are free passes, then we're not going to get in the top 4, are we? We've still got it. We can get in the top 4, but if we had this idea that we can't, then what's the point? Or if we beat Chelsea tonight, we go above them. How can that be a free? How can that be a free one?
No, well, that's it, isn't it? It's about how you look at it, isn't it? It's exactly how you look at the game. You've got to look and go, well, seeing people not happy that Andre Gomez is playing, but we haven't got many options, have we? Ed Brown says, I'd like us to get a result tonight, but if we lose, it's not over, correct? We have some winnable games coming up, and the top 4 will slip up in the coming weeks too. Absolutely, they will. Absolutely, they will.
If
Brian Gass...
I was just going to say, if we were to get beat and Leeds get something off West Ham, then it hasn't been, I suppose, in terms of teams round us, I know, obviously, Chelsea and Spurs, but it hasn't been the worst weekend in the world.
No.
It hasn't been the worst. I know if it could have done with Brighton beating Leicester to just give us that little chance of looking of catching them.
Well, he would have if the keeper wouldn't have threw it in the last second.
So, yeah. But if we can get something tonight, it keeps us well in the hunt.
Yeah, definitely. Brian Garside said with Doucouré out once again, it's proof it's a squad game. Gomez on form could be decisive. If he loses concentration, Chelsea will be onto him. I think he'll start. Not a Wobie and Davis could come on later. Big Jan says evening all. James Shorting says Fabrizio Romano said we're looking at Koulibaly.
Did he?
Yeah. Ahmed says, hello lads, just want to say some of the new developments at Toffee TV are great. The graphics and analysis on Tom Davies' video, particularly We Were Boss, really insightful, and the James Rodriguez video was again great. Also, Baz, new background, very good, and whatever new conferencing service you're using is effective. Looking forward to more of the analytical videos. You'll be getting more, Ahmed, particularly on Patreon. Thank you very much for that. James McKenna says tonight's game doesn't determine where we finish. Teams above us and below us will still lose a game. Spot on. Big Joe says, guys, when social distancing finishes, do you have any plans to have special guests on the sofa? You've had Nevin Dunk. Any chance of Tim Cahill making an appearance? Possibly.
Never say never.
It is. Never say never yet with Tim.
Just a set, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Ahmed says, also what I've really enjoyed about this season is that we've made games like this matter. It's no longer a freebie game. That in itself shows development of the club. Dick L doesn't get 2 goalies on the bench.
It's because... no, let me just explain this again. It's because they take three goalkeepers to every single game. And because it's an away game, they're not going to take... They're only going to take what they can take because of COVID. So that's why we have 3 goalies on the bench, because we always have 3 goalkeepers in the matchday squad. Always. Imagine the goalie got injured in the warm-up or whatever. So that's why he's on the bench. It's just because of COVID.
Yeah. Mitchell Bolton says that bench is Carabao Cup material. What can he do? What can he do? There's not much you can do, is there, really? It's up to us to just get behind him and hope that everybody puts the performance in. Abdullah Sajid says, where is James Rodriguez? Still injured. Hopefully he's back on Saturday. Vin Gwyn says, feels sorry for Gomez. Feel for Gomez sometimes. I think his injury has slowed him down. Paul Robinson says Gomez would be fine if he didn't want too much time on the ball. Yeah, he does delay, doesn't he? Everything else is really good, but he does sometimes delay just that little bit too long. And the opportunity to pass the ball goes then, doesn't it? He's got to speed it up. He's got the touch and he's got the technique and he's got the ability, but he's got to quicken it up.
Play in his own little bubble, doesn't he, at times?
Yeah, definitely. Kevin Doherty says, did we sign a player in the jam window, lads? Well, we did, didn't we? Signed Josh.
But if the manager doesn't... I mean, again... If the manager hasn't seen enough from him, we've got Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. If the manager does not see enough out of Josh King, then what does it matter? That's on the manager. When people make these statements, you're criticising the manager. So, we don't watch these players day in and day out. You've got to just... When will people just relax and start to trust the manager?
Yeah, but we've all done it. We've all looked. You've done it. I've done it.
I don't though. I don't though anymore.
But you've done it for years. Just because you don't do it now.
Because I trust the manager. Because I trust the manager. I haven't had a manager that I trusted for years. I trust the manager now. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Trust the manager in that he knows what's going on in the squad. Sometimes he gets it wrong, sound. But if we don't see these players day in and day out. That's what I'm saying.
That argument has been the same all the way through. People will still disagree, won't they? Because they'll want people in, or they'll ask the question. And maybe, just maybe, Josh King he's more of a striker, isn't he? He's more of an attacking player. And maybe for this one, Alex Iwobi defends more. And maybe he's thinking, these are going to come at us. We need someone who is at that level who can get up and down. Iwobi didn't have a very good game at West Brom. Let's not, dress it up. I don't think anyone would say he had a good game. But if he plays within a formation that works and the manager thinks he can do the job, you've got to trust the manager. Remember the derby? There was meltdown on that team before the Merseyside derby. And we won the game 2-0. So let's just trust that Carlo has got it right. And if he hasn't, I'm sure he'll make changes. Iwobi might have a cracker tonight. Be great for Iwobi to have a stormer tonight when it really matters and do something massively important in this one. create a goal or get himself on the score sheet or something, because we need him to. Because at the minute, he's not fully... Well, he isn't justifying what we pay for him, is he? He's up and down with no consistency. Armand says, has Broadhead got any sort of future with us? Seems to have got himself in the first team picture through training. I can't see it at the moment, Ahmed. His contract's up in the summer. I think he's got himself in the picture because there's not that many other players to choose from, really. And other ones who may have been involved are all out on loan. So I don't think he has. I think he'll move on in the summer. But he's done well. He's done well of late for the 23s. Big Jan says, all for one, one for all. Everton's the team that plays beautiful football. Gareth Hughes says, Dan was open, Davies and Doucouré would make it at least one. Doucouré not going to be making it for a while, Gareth. Worried about a midfield with goal in it. Can't be helped, though. Let's get into these Blues. These are F, hashtag, kin. SH, hashtag, haha. Lewis says, if Tom Davies is fit, he should be starting for me. Well, he's obviously not fully fit, and they're trying to manage him through this period. Obviously, we've lost Doucouré. We don't want to be losing Tom Davies as well. So it's about managing him back, especially with the injury, which is a quad injury, isn't it? So he's kicking through the ball. So it's a case of have him there and then manage him in time for Saturday, Burnley. And then he's got a game at the weekend, and then it's another week till the City game, and then it's a 2-week break. And then hopefully the other side that had international break, he'll be fine. He'll be ready to go full pelt again. Because he's now going to become very important forever. He has been anyway, but he's going to be even more so now that Adelaide...
Do you think Tom might be on the bench just as a precaution, like Alan was in the Merseyside derby and a couple of other games, where it's more like just to... Not just be maybe because Alan, the manager did say that Alan really has played too many minutes in his comeback, and I just wonder whether Tom. I know there's always that old adage. Well, if you're fit enough for the bench, you're fit enough for the team. But we've seen Alan not even get a sniff in some of the games he's on the bench for.
Oh yeah. Just what can he do? If Tom Davies is almost fit, they're going to put him on a bench just in case we need him. But I guess the manager will be thinking everything will go to plan, and ideally he won't need him. Or it might be I'm going to try to give Alan 70 minutes so that we look after him, and Tom can do 20, 25 minutes at the end. Yeah. And then that way you give him it might be something like that. But who knows? James says so annoying about Doucouré. Says you've been getting stick for a tweet about Doucouré. Whatever. Mad. David Gilbert says, anyone think we'd be here 18 months ago pushing Champions League places and above the shite? Shows what a class manager can do. Certainly does, David. Michael says, let's take a moment to visualise a 3-0 win. It might work. You never know. John Hill says, like, comment, subscribe, get on Patreon. Keith Powell says, Ancelotti has picked the best team from what he has available and able to play in the system he feels will be the most effective on the pitch against a very good side. Please criticise if you must after the game, but not before. Hasn't he taught enough lessons to the before the game critics already? Good points, Keith. Paz Mystery says, how far from serious game time is on Yango? Would love one of the youths to be blooded in the first team squad proper. I don't know is the answer to that, Paz. I've seen him in the 23s and he's good, but there's a huge difference between the under-23s and the first team. He's training with the first team every day. So I think he basically trains with the first team every day and he plays for the 23s to keep his minutes up. So if the manager feels like he can do a job, he'll be there. He'll be given a chance.
We won't see the emergence of him now that if Doucouré is out for a few weeks, because actually physically he's the only one who looks anywhere near him, and it might be the case of I mean, we don't want to see any more injuries, but if there were any more injuries, or even just the manager just thought, he looked at the team and thought, looked at the team and thought, oh no, I'm going to have to play. I mean, really, we've got Gomez and Sigurdsson in tonight. I mean, that's, it's never great, and there's no real... Alan provides energy in there, we know that, but that's where Doucouré's been so important, adding that energy. Yeah. And maybe it'll just be little things. I remember Tom Davies coming off the bench in a I won't say what score it was at Chelsea.
Yeah.
And he for 20 minutes he was the only one who showed anything. And who's to say Onyongo doesn't get 15, 20 minutes somewhere and he looks part of it, and then the next minute you start saying, oh, he might be worth a start or whatever. So who's to say? It's really hard, especially this time of year, to blood players when you're still going for something. The manager's already showed it's a lot of it comes down to trust, who he trusts. And listen, young lads are hard to trust. You've seen that with Anthony Gordon. Everyone wants them to do well, but if they don't listen to the instructions that's given to the manager by the manager will soon have them out the team. And that's the hardest thing. I know a lot of people love to see young people. We all love to see young players, young lads coming through. But if those lads don't listen to what the manager says and don't do it, Duncan Ferguson with Moise Keane, simple instructions: go on and do this job for me. If you can't, get off the pitch. It's a team game. So I hope he gets a chance somewhere down the line. But let's just see what happens.
Exactly. Sorry, John, just asking.
Someone just said in the comments there on YouTube, the Vine, just read Doucouré was stopped speeding in an uninsured Lamborghini a couple of days ago. No, he was in court last week. It happened when he was at Watford. It's nothing to do with anything.
It was just because they come up, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was in London a few days. Last when he was a Watford player. Richard Folks says Wolves away, Liverpool away. Loads of fans have meltdowns. Me, on the other hand, was sat like Yoda in full trust of the manager and the plan he had up the sleeve. Wake up, we have a world-class manager. It's going to take time for people to flip over that, because we have been burned so many times, and each and all of us have put our trust in different managers, and it's not bore any fruit. Let's put it that way. But been there, done it, and got it and everything else, and has got the players trust him. You've seen all the stuff that's come out from the players of late. But
also as well, you put a team out and the opposition do something, different than maybe what you thought they were going to do. So what you've put out doesn't always work. Okay, individual players mightn't be having good games, but you can put a team out fully expecting the opposition to play a certain system or a certain set of players, and it just doesn't work like that. And then you've got to make those changes then during the game, and it's, have you got the personnel to do that? Do you know what I mean? Dennis says, you lads seen Gabam train or play? Not this year, mate. I'm afraid. Not this year.
I've seen him play for Mainz.
No, I've seen him play for Everton. I've seen him play at Everton.
Watford. I haven't.
Yeah. Watford at home, I was there, and he played, and he did all right. He looked a little bit off the pace at the time, but I mean that was a very long time ago. But not seeing him any images of or any video of him this year training, apart from when he was at the training facility in Paris, and that was the last we've seen of him. So
yeah, he's doing his individual work still, isn't he? Building up. Dennis also says, what attributes does he have? Well, he was a big box-to-box midfield player, but he's also very good in the sixth role.
He'd be perfect tonight.
He'd be absolutely perfect. They've been perfect this season with Doucouré and Allen, to be honest with you. But it keeps going on and on, doesn't it? Until he's actually fit and we can look. What can you do? There's not really much we can do. Oisin McKibben says at this point we may as well just play Godfrey in midfield. Well, see, that's the thing, is that at the moment, because Yerry Mina's out, we can't play him there. So, because obviously Seamus Coleman's out as well, we haven't got enough fit defenders. So I wonder whether when Yerry Mina's back, whether we will actually see a Ben Godfrey or Seamus or Mason Holgate go into midfield, especially if Doucouré's going to be missing now for a good number of weeks. So, who knows? Okay, where are we? Kieran Cook says, awful news about Doucouré, but we have Carlo and he'll sort it out. That guy says, do you reckon we should just sell Gabam?
To who?
Well, we can't. No one would buy him anyway because he's not fit at the minute, is he? But I think listen, it's been an absolute disaster so far for the lad. You know, we can bemoan it from our perspective and go, we're so unlucky we haven't had him for this or that. But for the lad himself, it's been an absolute nightmare. He moved, got a move he wanted to the Premier League, and he's played 1.5 games and has been injured ever since. You know, it's an absolutely terrible, you know, thing for him to happen. But if he can get him fit, then who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, where are we? Al Clark said, is Bezic not part of the squad? I find the Bezic thing weird. Now, I don't know whether he's injured, so I'm not sure. But Bezic was, I'm not saying he's great either, by the way, but Bezic was included in the 25-man squad. And now we've got a lot of injuries. We're seeing kids who we know are never going to come onto the pitch on the bench.
No, it is strange.
And Bezic is nowhere. It's just a little bit of a mad one to me. But what could you do? Is Bernard not on the bench?
Bernard's on the bench. Yeah, I'll put the team up here again, just so everyone.
Yeah, just put that.
Everyone can see what the team is. There you go.
Yeah. So the manager's picked what he thinks can get a result with the players he's got, and you have to back him for that and go, right, let's see what happens. But I think what the Doucouré thing does for me is that it just shows that in the summer we are desperate to sign another Doucouré type player, another midfielder who's got that stature, that mobility, because we simply don't have another one like him.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean the players who can come off anyone can come off the bench, but Bernard, Davis, and King are your main three there. And everyone else is just kids, really, aren't they? So going to be very, very difficult. Very, very difficult.
It will be. Dick L says, what do you think will happen with Dennis Adeniran? He's already played for Fulham. We paid him good money and he's done well for the 23s. He's on loan at Wickham, and he's been in and out of Wickham's team. I think through injury, to be honest. I think when he's fit, I think he plays most weeks for them. But I just think that I wouldn't surprise me if he stayed at Wickham. He's not got a future in Everton, I don't think, anyway. So. Richard Hindley says, does Carlo trust King? I don't know, is the answer to that. Who knows? Tom says, lads, are you confident we'll be in full capacity stadiums next season? Can you imagine what the atmosphere will be like?
Maybe.
I think we'll head towards that, definitely, with the vaccine and stuff, definitely. I don't think away fans will be involved at the start. I'd be surprised if they let away fans in to games early on. Because I think it just makes sense to just have your home fans for the first, see how it all goes. But let's hope that we are. Daniel Gilligan says we'll definitely giving King a start today, but got to trust Carlo. Been a few times I've looked at that team, being confused, but Carlo seems to come out on top. Exactly, he knows what he's doing.
Liam,
Prince Rupert says...
I was just going to say, no, you missed a chat of superness there. Liam says, up the faking toffees, la. There you go.
It's right, Liam, lad. It's right. Lewis Watts says, can you give a shout out to Steve who's rushing around cooking the tea before the match? It's right, Steve. Keep it going, mate. You've still got, 35 minutes till kick-off. You'll be all right, Steve. Prince Rupert says, I see this as a cup final tonight, lads. Just don't lose. And Big Jan's asked about Bezic. Would he be better in a more defensive role? In that defensive role, better than Gomez? But Gomez has been playing, hasn't he? Regardless of whether people think he's good, he's this, he's that, at least Gomez has been playing Premier League games. Bezic hasn't, has he? So, I don't know. Gavin Johnson says Basuma from Brighton could be a good midfield addition next season. Yeah, he's done well, hasn't he? Basuma, very good. Raphael Merton says we should sign Gerson from Flamengo. He's a fantastic midfielder and he's like Doucouré, but with more quality on the ball and younger. But they're the kind of players we need, aren't we? There's no question about it. They're the ones we need, because we need a mobile midfield player that can do more than one job as well. Doucouré's come into our midfield and has turned our midfield around almost on. I know Alan's been a huge part of that, no question about that. But Doucouré has made our midfield, made our team totally different, simply because of his energy and his ability to get on the ball. Yeah. And, you know, we've seen lately he's been very sloppy with his passing, and people be moaning. But I think you'll see that over the next few games. And we might still get results, but the way we play will be slightly different. So I think if you add another one in there with Doucouré and then mix those midfielders together, I think you'd have a really good. I think Everton would have a really good side then. Lucas Sierra says James' injury issue doesn't apply in the national team. So weird. Disappointed, really. I don't think he's been fully fit though for us. So, you know, playing certain amount of games and then being injured again. What can you say? I'm never gonna slag James Rodriguez off. He's absolutely fantastic. I'd love him to be available every single game and at his peak condition every game, because he's a match winner on his own. But you know, I definitely wouldn't have a go with him. Definitely. Make sure you give the video a like if you're watching 1,000 of you. This is why he plays for Everton. And subscribe if you haven't. Yeah, of course. He's 29. He's had his injuries, but this season he's got 5 goals and 8 assists or something. I think that's a really good return. Definitely. Pig Fensk says, "Don't rate Bezic one bit. Deadwood, in my opinion."
Yeah, Deadwood.
Not saying Bezic is the answer, by the way. I'm just saying he's an experienced international footballer who's been here for a while. And I just found it a little bit interesting that the club had registered him in a 25-man squad, but he doesn't get on the bench when we've got no players. That was all. I'm not saying he's definitely going to, he's the man that's going to turn Everton round in these times without a shadow of a doubt. It's not like that at all, but it's just a bit weird that the club went to the point of, registering and playing him and registering but not playing him. So Michael says, "Can you imagine the United game at home?" Someone said the next home game will be a Champions League qualifier. Richard Hindley said, "What's a bigger achievement, winning the Scottish League or finishing top 4 in the Premier League?"
Top 4. Top 4. Finishing top 10 in the Premier League is a bigger achievement. The way the standard of football in Scotland is. Yeah.
Eric Perry says, "Love it when people say he's done well with the 23s. Oh, yeah, what a merit."
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Well, all I would say, while I agree, Eric, totally, while I agree, at the end of the day, if you're a player playing in the 23s, all you can do is do well at the level you're playing in, isn't it? Yeah. But you're right, that doesn't necessarily mean, right, now he plays in, now he's good enough to play in the Premier League. Because the Premier League it's an unforgiving league. I mean, like, the quality isn't always there, but the intensity of it and the speed and the power of it is.
Yeah, it's when if they go out on loan and you're hearing all kinds of rave reviews about them, then fair enough. But we don't really hear, I've not heard anything about really any. I know Jared Branthwaite's had a really good start. I think he's last few weeks just gone off the boil a little bit, but that happens. He's a young lad. Things, you start getting a little bit complacent, and it's about going back and finding that again. Anthony Gordon's had a decent start at Preston, but injuries have robbed them of a couple of games.
Ellis Sims.
But I mean, he's
Blackpool. He's got a
he's
few
in the
goals. He's
lower down, isn't he? Most of the time, it's not till maybe 2-3 years later when these players have probably left, and they leave. Then that's when you start hearing about them doing well. Vincent says, "Would you take Guy back to partner Doucouré?" Probably I would. Yeah, get him in.
You would have Garner.
He's still brilliant.
He's got the energy, hasn't he? I mean, personally, there's players like Dennis Zakaria who I think would be excellent for Everton, without a shadow of a doubt. I think he'd do well, but it's whether Everton go back for him. So who knows?
Someone just said this. Besic was class for Sheffield United. To be fair to him, he's not the answer for us though. That's from Sam. Do you know what, Sam? No, he had a chance to stay at Sheffield United and he didn't take it. So more fool him.
Yeah, definitely. Where are we there? Saberio numero uno says Gerson is not good off the ball. He's like Gomez, in my opinion. I don't know. Paul Cape from Melbourne says worry at the lack of legs in midfield tonight. Yeah, but what can he do? He can't really. There's not really much he can do, is there? He can only pick what's available, can't he, really? Yeah. Cam says Godfrey is so underrated. He's been doing really well for us. Jay Tomlinson says Davies needs to be on the pitch versus this squad. Yeah, but you don't think he's fully fit, though? I don't know. Sam Gowan says, I like the team Chelsea have set out, very beatable.
Fair enough.
Let's hope it is. Let's hope it is, mate. Okay, where are we? Loyal Toffee says, I'll be watching Iwobi this whole game. He could be the determining factor. And Moji says Iwobi due a big performance. Let's hope it's tonight. No, he definitely is. And listen, I know people don't love people don't.
Yeah, want him to do well. Yeah.
Want him to do well. Gaming says our squad depth is one of the poorest in the league. Desperate for 4+ signings. Yeah, we probably, it is, isn't it? I think it's very thin, isn't it? I think it's, and you know, when we've got these injuries, it hits it. I think it hits it home perfectly that just how much Everton do need to still progress. Not saying, you know, I think when everybody's fit, it's I think it's a good you know, it's a good squad, or it's a good 14, 15 players. And then we've got other people who are there who can help as well. But I still feel like we need at least 3 in the summer. There's no question about that, in my opinion. But it's just when we get a few injuries, you see very quickly how thin it is, don't you?
Yeah.
But we'll see.
We knew that already. You know, I've said this for a while. It's not about the players we've got. It's about the players we haven't got. And we won't have them, will we? You know, till the summer. You know, till they bring players in the summer. So we can only do with what we've got, and we've moved. You know, that midfield's moved around quite a lot because of injuries, because of Alan being out and Tom's out, now Doucouré's out. It's not perfect. We haven't had our best team for a while, so we'll just get on with it. Bill, will you stop going on about my setup, please? There is nothing wrong with my setup. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Stop going on about it.
Thanks for the super chat.
Oh, yeah, thanks for the super chat. And that's the only reason I addressed it.
I think he wants you to be a bit
I don't
lighter.
care. I'm literally sitting in my bedroom.
I'm just doing something for 1 second.
My God.
Right? So you just keep it going. Because my thingy's annoying me. It'll be 1 sec. I'll go off and I'll be back.
All right.
1 second.
Kyle says ever since Ancelotti has taken over, he's proven me wrong week in, week out. Just learn to accept what he's chosen and hope he's got it right, which he does so often. Yeah, that's right. Hang on, let me just turn Baz's sound off. For some reason he's gone. Andrew says our away form is good at the moment, which it is. It burns my head out every time we do a video and people want to talk about the setup of the show. Who's genuinely is asked. Shut up, Neil. Steve-O said Carlo proved us wrong all the time. Trust Carlo. Win tonight for the Toffees. Baz is frozen. I mean, he's frozen because he's just dropped out. I don't know why he's dropped out. He just said he had to go and do something. people, Chelsea fans in the comments, weird. Mathew says Gabama will be back soon, 2051. Maybe he will. Bass has just dropped out. Only complaint is that Carlo makes the subs too late. Yeah, sometimes he. Well, Southampton he did, but don't forget the subs against West Brom won us the game. Don't forget that. So you can't really throw that one at him, can you? Mark says should be a good game for the neutral. I don't think football should have neutrals. I think they should be allowed. Tom Smith says, can you remember when James was saying that Carlo was something or other? It's disappeared off my screen. I apologise. I'll finish that sentence when it comes on me telly up there. Oh, hang on. I mean, he's brought himself back. There he is. Hang on.
Apologies.
Brought himself back.
It just looked like I was going. Yeah, I don't know. I'm back.
Yeah. Back. Yeah. What do you want a medal?
All good. Kieran Wallace. This was an interesting one today, and I don't know whether it's. I haven't got a clue what this is, but not from Kieran, but this story today. Did you see the thing today saying Everton are listening to
Sigurdsson
offers for Gylfi Sigurdsson? I mean, what did you make of that? I don't know whether it's right, wrong, true or not, but would you be surprised by that or not?
I'd be surprised by it, yeah, because of the amount we use them. We use them quite a lot, so therefore it would seem strange to me that we would. I'm just going to make myself really bright just to annoy people.
No, just today it was just a little bit. It was just a bit weird that story come out because I thought he's done quite well, but I'm not saying. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's amazing or whatever, and I understand with given how much money he's on and all of that kind of stuff. And with it, I guess what it probably is that he's got a year left on a contract. So what do? Do you offer him another big deal?
Well, you don't, do you? You offer him what the going rate is for a player of his age.
And if he's not going to be guaranteed first team either, then maybe the club are looking and going, well, maybe not. But it's. I just thought it was interesting that come out today. But I mean, it obviously could just be a rumour anyway, like most stuff nowadays. But just thought that was quite surprising.
Clickbait.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that you have got to, you have to go. Yeah. Mike Barrett says, if that lot don't finish in the top four, what BS will they pull this time to try to be included?
Who knows?
Win the Champions League, possibly. Still in it, don't forget. Could end up winning it, who knows? I mean, I can't see it, but then funnier things have happened, haven't they? Sir Tom Davies says, get rid of Gylfi, then get Grealish. Ped would be over the moon with that, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I can't see that happening, personally, but...
Gavin Johnson says, you lads follow German football. Do you rate the lad who plays as right winger from Stuttgart? That will link with. Silas Wamangatuka. Yeah, he's only 21. Very quick. Still a little bit raw, but he is very quick. He scored 11 goals. I think 13 goals altogether this season. Scored 11 in the league. Signed from Paris FC about 2 years ago for them and has done well. Good, good athletic type of player. So and can play through the middle or right and left. So he's a decent player. I mean, I don't know whether Everton are going to get him, but he's certainly an interesting player. And again, probably wouldn't command a huge fee. So they're the ones to look at. Lads who've gone and developed in Germany. I mean, Leverkusen have got Leon Bailey, who I'm his fanboy for. But they've also got the Arby as well on the right-hand side. He's come from French football, who's 21, who's dead quick, scores goals. So there's definitely players in Germany we could go and pick up.
Yeah, good players, aren't they?
I seen thing. Defo. I mean, I seen Thingy linked with us again today, although I'm not 100% convinced. But Memphis Depay, because he's free, isn't he, in the summer? I still think he may end up at Barca if Koeman stays, but he's free. So, and I know that Brands likes him, so he's an interesting one. But then again, he's 26, 27, whereas these other lads are all 20, 21, 22. But yeah. Where are we? Collis King says the ref gave Spurs the point against Fulham. He did. I know Ped was telling me about the handball, the goal of Fulham got disallowed and stuff. But you need those little bits of luck, don't you? You need those moments of luck in the game. I mean, I had a look last night. I seen Tottenham Palace last night. How on earth was Harry Kane's goal? How was that not offside?
I put this,
and yet someone's toenail is.
I put this on Twitter last night, and people were like, "Well, that's the rule." And I was like, "I don't," and I get that. I just don't understand how a player can be offside, and then they say it's second phase. But how can it be second phase if the player never gets back on side? If you're a defender, how do you deal with that? How are you supposed to deal with that? It's a nonsense. And I know it's a rule. I know it's a rule. I'm not arguing about that he was offside. I'm saying the rule is nonsense. I hate that rule. He doesn't make any attempt to get back on side, but because he's behind the ball when it's played to him, he's onside. No, he's not. He's offside. There's been no intention. How can a defender defend that? The defender's done his job by making him offside. Mad. Liam says, I'm hoping for Lamptey for right back or Aaron's. You, as in question mark you. What do you want, Baz?
Out of the two, I'd probably want Aaron's out of the two. I think Lamptey's more natural playing as a wing back than an actual right back. But they're both really good. Don't get me wrong, they're both really good. But they'll both cost a pretty penny. There's no question about that. They're both going to cost 30 million quid. Lamptey wouldn't have done, but he signed a new contract for Brighton, didn't he, in January? So,
has he played, doesn't seem to have,
but that Liam,
has he played that much recently? He doesn't seem to have played that much.
He's injured, isn't he? He's injured at the moment. But what they would do from that right back is fly up and down the right wing. And it gave us another option there, if that's what the manager wants. I think the manager would be looking at maybe a right back and a left-footed right winger. Has been something Everton have been looking for the last couple of years. So that would be interesting. And obviously you'd have James there as well, wouldn't you? Because obviously Bernard will go out on the street to race him anyway. So right-footed left back. Kieran Wallace says Bailey will be deadly with Dom and Richie and James behind in the 10. Yeah, especially if you had athletic midfield as well, and you could go with that. Stephen Poynton says, Baz, was we looking at Zakaria in the summer? Just gone with you saying we might go back in. Yeah, we've had a look at him the last 2 summers, Stephen. But I just know he's got 12 months left on his... Well, in the summer he'll have 12 months left on his deal. And he's still only 24. And he's energy-wise, he can break into the box, gets around the pitch brilliantly. So he would be one I'd be really interested in, because I think when you've got a midfielder like him with 12 months left on his deal in the summer, they can't be asking for stupid money. You know, and I just think that's a brilliant age. Tom Smith, Baz, your prediction for tonight? 1-1. 1-1. Okay, where are we? Josh says, I hope we sign Aaron's. Links well to Godfrey and think he'd settle in well. Yeah, definitely. Kieran Wallace says, do you want Moise Keane back, or would you just sell him and take a profit?
Sell him. Take a big fat profit.
Don't get me wrong, Moise Keane's a good player and he's proved he's done well this season. Would he come back into Everton and play on the right-hand side and be up and down? Because I don't think we're going to move into a 2 all the time. Is he good enough to displace Richarlison in the Everton side? No. Is he good enough to displace Dom in the side and do what Dom does? No. Could he play as a front 3 on the right? Probably. But if someone offers 35, 40 million quid or whatever, then Carlo might just say, you know what, let's take that money and let's go and buy Aaron, Zakaria and someone else. And that gives us, Bailey or something, and with the extra money and all that, means that Everton are much, much better. It doesn't mean Moise Keane isn't a good striker or you know, wouldn't do well here. But that's how they'll have to look at it, won't they?
Definitely.
Brian Deegan says, Baz, do you think we'll sell many players this summer? I think they'll want to get half, you know, like 5 or 6 out, definitely. I think Bernard, they'll want out. I think John Joe Kenny, they'll want to go. Bezic will go anyway. I think they've got a decision to make on Yerry Mina, and I really like Yerry Mina, but what I mean is it's the contract, 2 years to go. Got to make a decision.
Definitely.
So there's 4. Then obviously there's a decision on Robin Olsen. Do we keep him? Don't we? So it's definitely an interesting one this summer, without a shadow. But I can see 5, 6. Paul Cake says, Baz, aren't you Sangari's agent anymore? Sangari's done really well for PSV. It still guts me that we didn't pay 8 million quid for him in the summer and get him, because I think he'd be perfect. But what can you do? What can you do? Sol wants us to make the game a scrap, most definitely. Step 96, Steepy 96 rather, says, Baz, I know you really like Bailey, but personally think Diaby would be a better signing. Bailey is probably better technically, but I think Diaby is even quicker and has a bit more about. And fair enough, Steve, they're both really good options, aren't they? And I think they both do really well. Mark Smith thinks Keane's far better than Richie. Fair enough, mate, all opinions. But Richie can play a number of positions. I don't think Moise Keane can. Kimley Wong says Lookman is an example of not seeing the potential while he was with us. Yeah, Lookman has got potential, there's no doubt about it, but you've got to do everything. You've got to put it all together, haven't you? And I don't think he does put it all together and still doesn't. Cameron says it's Sergio Romero on a free as a backup. Yeah, he's one who, you know, Everton tried to get him on deadline day, didn't he, in the summer? He is free this summer. Maybe. Everton could go back for him. Who knows? Jamie Williams is watching from Mars. He's right, Jay. He's done well there.
Yeah, man.
Done well. Wormy Spoon says we need a right winger. Anyway, great.
Excellent.
Or at a PSG, no problem. William the man Carlo Ancelotti to let him go out, so there you go.
Yeah, I think we're going to get off
right
and go and watch the match. Curtis is watching. Curtis is in Perth. He's watching. It's 10 to 2 in the morning. There you go. Just
players, right?
There you go. Yeah, loads of people saying you're frozen. He did freeze for a second. He came back. I think his lad probably jumped on the PlayStation 5 or something, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's done. Cool. Right, let's do it. Post-match, we will see you, and hopefully another good result. Right, Pedro, are you taking us out?
For a minute, my sound dropped off just before you were frozen. Right, we're going. We'll see you all after the match. I'll be back for the live after the match, and we'll see you later. Bye.